Catch more flies and honey.
And good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our president will be not present for the 9 o'clock meeting, but he will be present for the 10:30 meeting. We are now in the hands of our capable city clerk, Ms. Lisa Lambert.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council Tuesday, August 17th. We have appeals, request for waiver of the noise ordinance on September 11th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. in Medal of Honor Park. September the 3rd through the 5th from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. in Herndon Sage Park.
Good for Herndon Sage.
Okay. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Seth Pepper.
Mr. Vice President.
Yes, Mr. Days.
Mr. Pepper is coming down today to complain about the city demolishing a house that he owned and cleaning up the yard at 404 Morgan Avenue. This property is property that I heard from numerous residents in that area about trying to get the city to do something about it. It was in horrible condition. It burned out. There was trash, burned out cars in the yard. This went on for 2 years. Mr. Pepper evaded every effort we tried to make to get a hold of him. Eventually, we were able to take action. I forgot Mr. Doffenbaugh. If Mr. Doffenbaugh would come down and just give a brief history of this issue, or go up and give a brief history of this issue. The cleanup was bid out, and the lowest bid was $6,300, and that's the one the city accepted. But Mr. Doffenbaugh, if you have any comments to make on this, please.
Yes, okay, great, the mic is on, perfect. Yes, just following up with Mr. Daves, that municipal enforcement was processing this location for many code violations for several years. And at that time, the property was occupied by Mr. Pepper, and therefore we went through the environmental court for abatement processes. Regretfully, Mr. Pepper never was in compliance. And it evolved to the point where his structure was a result of a fire/small explosion, and it was no longer able to be inhabited by Mr. Pepper. So it evolved also to the point where municipal enforcement went through the nuisance abatement procedure following a demolition tract. And yes, it went before council back in October of 2020 under the resolution 40-813. Council did declare it a public nuisance and ordered it to be demolished. Municipal enforcement went through the process, and in January 2021, the demolition of the structure occurred. And yes, there was a bid process, competitive bid process. All the bids that came in were within $200 of each other, so the prices were all competitive. And you can see that $6,300 is a little high for a residential demolition, unless you take into the factor the amount of debris that was removed. Not only was it the structure, but the amount of debris, and the before photographs show that if you could envision a junkyard in a residential neighborhood, that's what this was. Scrap tires were dumped here, metal objects, all throughout the front yard, backyard, plus a structure that was fire damaged that is now vacant. So that's what we had facing us for the contractors. And again, all the bids that came in were within $300 of a differential. So we had a competitive bid process. All the bids are consistent. We selected the lowest bidder, which is AA&A Demolition. They went forward, completed the demolition. We fixed the cost. Mr. Pepper is now reaching out to the city clerk's office, but also to municipal enforcement for additional information. We've replied to Mr. Pepper and let him know that he has to fill out the request for records. Then we'll be happy to give him a complete copy of the file. Mr. Pepper has not done that to date, and that's where we stand. I believe he's scheduled to speak to council this morning.
Thank you.
Can you get the file to us so we have that when he's speaking as well? I mean, you've described everything very well, but is that possible to email that to council?
To email the entire file, which I have in front of me, is not going to be possible today. But if there's specific questions that you have related to the process, I'll be happy to answer them.
No, I thought
for
maybe
you.
you had a file that we could also be reviewing.
He has some, Mr. Doffenbaugh has the bid sheet, and I guess if you'd like to see that, Ms. Rich.
No, I mean, I know they went through the proper, I was just thinking for the condition, photographs of the condition.
To answer your question, yes, I do have an email that I can forward to every council member and the city clerk this morning that does show a before and after photograph.
Okay, that would be great.
And shows the bid recap sheet, so that there will be some basic information within the email that you can have before the meeting
That would
at
be
10:30.
perfect. Thank you very much.
Mr. Doffenbaugh, what day did they hit the agenda for the council? Couldn't we just go back to the old agenda and pull those pictures up?
Possibly. If it was the public hearing, then yes, you would have on the agenda with photographs.
Do you remember what date that was? Maybe we can, might be more easier.
I do know when it was declared. I can tell you that. That would be October 27th of 2020. That's when council declared it, and the resolution is 40-813.
All right, thank you. You done, Mr. Davis?
Yes, thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Also signed in for non-agenda item is Timothy Hollis regarding the Mobile Municipal Courts negligence on behalf of the Payments Division. Why are they inconsistent? Why are they withholding bond repayments and not returning voicemails? Gregory Dennis regarding infrastructure in Hillsdale Heights subdivision. Reggie Hill regarding ordinances 64026, resolutions 21642, 21648, 60654, and 60679. Ordinances held over 64026, ordinance to amend and restate chapter 64 of the city code zoning.
I believe that our president wants to send this to a committee. He will make more announcement about this at the 10:30 meeting.
Thank you. That's the committee of the whole, where we were going.
He just said that he was going to send it to committee, and he'll make the announcement at 10:30. That's all.
CIP resolutions held over 01638, authorized agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation for Airport Boulevard congestion management, Hillcrest to Cody.
Yay.
Resolutions held over 08639, approved purchase order to CDW Government LLC for a subscription for server virtualization software for the MIT department. 08640, approved purchase order to Sunbelt Fire for 87 pairs of leather fire boots for the fire administration. 09641, reallocate monies from the police department operating account to the capital improvement fund for the purchase of Microsoft software and to replace or repair the current target system at the Mobile Metro firing range. 21642, authorized contract with Lance Delston to provide tennis lessons and clinics for the Parks and Recreations Department. 47643, establish fair market value of property to be vacated at North Washington Avenue and North Dearborn Street.
I want to, Madam Clerk,
Mr.
Mr.
Richardson?
Vice President, I want to go back to 21642. Somebody tell me more about that.
Which one?
21642.
That's just putting under contract one of the tennis professionals. It's not to pay that much, as a salary. It's up to that amount.
So this person will be providing we're going to pay this person to provide tennis lessons.
No. Go ahead.
They charge.
Right.
Let me use my coach's voice on the go here. So this is a contract with the tennis pro. The citizen comes in and pay us for the tennis lessons, and then when he is done, he bills us and we pay him. So this is up to that amount that will be used. So the tennis instructor is actually being paid by the person who's taking the lesson. The money filters through us so that we can take it in.
Okay, so the city is not actually going to be taking 40,000 of taxpayers' money to pay.
Correct.
No.
We're not.
Okay,
It's just to allow us to actually do the transaction.
okay.
So we have like 12 others. This is
We've done a bunch.
bring on new tennis.
All right.
Okay,
If we could go back to 47,643, establish fair market value of the property, I believe the value we came up with was $10,000, is that correct?
A little over.
Yeah. And when the speaker was here last week, he asked that we waive that. That's not my inclination. There's no reason to waive this.
$60, 47,644 sent to the vacation of an alley located between North Washington Avenue and North Dearborn Street. 60,645 approved settlement agreement and release of claims. 21,648 authorized contract with SC Stagner Contracting for Canal Street wall repairs and fencing.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Richardson.
I believe that we received a message from Ms. Ushany Kidd that this company did not satisfy the DBE requirements. Is she here? Here she is.
Yeah, this one I think has 41% DBE on this wall.
Okay,
Yeah, 41%.
okay.
Where is this funding coming from?
This is from District 2.
It's sponsored by, but it doesn't say where the funding is coming from.
That's it, District 2.
It's CIP?
Correct.
It should say that. We don't have nothing to hide.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 03-649, concur in the reappointment of Dr. Janice Denise Smith to the Mobile County Board of Human Resources. 03-650, reappoint Lawrence E. Carroll Jr. and Ray Richardson to the Solid Waste Disposal Authority. 58-651 and 652 are declaring weeds noxious and assessing cost for removal of weeds. 60-653, approval of water special bonus to the Office of the Month for July as part of the Mayor's Incentive Program. 60-654, 655, 656, 657 are determining appropriations to the Africatown Community Development Corporation, Restoration Deliverance Outreach Ministry, Youth on the Winning Side, and Bay Area Women's Coalition, Inc. serve a public purpose and approve payment. 46-678, give the corners of Buck Street and Weinecker, Elliott Street and Weinecker Avenue, and Virginia Street and Weinecker Avenue the honorary designation of Corinthian Missionary Baptist Church corner. Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01658, authorize a tax revenue enhancement agreement with Avenue Insights and Analytics for collection of delinquent license revenue, fee of 30% of collections.
Can we get some more information on that? Thank you.
Yes, this is a company that we've been using since 2009 to help collect license fees from companies that have not been paying it. The contract stopped at the end of the, around the beginning of COVID, and we're just reinitiating it now. What they do is they go out, they investigate companies that may not be even on our records. Could be offices from companies from other cities that have established themselves here and aren't paying license fees. And over the last 10 years, we range anywhere from $50,000 to $600,000 a year in recoveries of license fees. So that's what this is.
Has it always been at 30% for their take?
Yeah.
That's been stable?
And that's pretty typical.
Thank you.
08659, approve purchase order to Chris Francis Tree Care for median landscaping greenlight from Cody Road to Hillcrest. 08660, approve purchase order to Chris Francis Tree Care for median landscaping greenlight from Hillcrest to Norwood. $33,385.26.
If I could just address this.
Ms. Rich?
This is a beautification project for the medians along Grelot, and it's funding that has been put together over the last 3 years to do the project through, this year it involved CIP money, but the other 2 years it was strictly leftover money from other projects and/or through discretionary funds. So I'm glad to see this moving. It's been a long time, but it's going to make a big difference out that way. So appreciate it making it this far. Thanks.
08661 is also a purchase order to Chris Francis Tree Care for Greenlight Road from Norwood to University, $42,243.78. 08662, approved purchase order to W.W. Granger for 8 water tank evaporative cooling fans for equipment services, $32,800. 08663, approved purchase order to Daktronics for Convention Center Marquee, $161,996. 08664, approved purchase order to Environmental Systems Research Institute for renewal of ArcGIS software licenses and maintenance support subscriptions, $95,100. 08665, approved purchase order to Prologic ITS LLC for solar-powered message board for Police Department, $15,679.60, and litter and recycling, $31,359.20. 08666, approved purchase order to Savant Learning Systems DBA Virtual Academy for annual virtual training subscription for Mobile Police Department, $20,000. 08667, approved purchase order to Kronos Incorporated for annual subscription for workforce management and timekeeping software, $22,349.83. 08668, approved purchase order to ONLC Training Centers for online cybersecurity training, $40,000. 08669, approved purchase order for diesel and unleaded fuel for equipment services. 21670, authorized contract with Gulf Coast Fence Company for police vehicle impound fence replacement, $129,340. 21671, authorized contract with T. Batchelor & Son for Mobile Museum of Art, HVAC modifications, $117,985. 21672, authorized contract with TAG for exterior painting and repairs, Arthur R. Outlaw Convention Center, $69,900. 21673, authorized contract with Bagby & Russell Electric for lighting controls replacement at the Arthur R. Outlaw Convention Center, $375,936.
I'd like to ask about that one,
Mr. Richards?
President. Do we have DBE for this one? Okay, no problem. Look at the next two.
21674, authorized contract with John G. Walsh and Construction for Texas Street Infrastructure Rehabilitation from Ann Street to Broad Street. This is $5,578,877.77.
Okay.
21675,
And, wait a
authorized.
minute, where did the funds come for this one? I know it didn't come out of CIP.
Yeah, it's a combination of multiple. I'll let Nick give you the specific number.
Great, I appreciate that, thank you.
The funding sources for this effort are pay-as-you-go, MAWS, and CIP. A little bit of CIP, $3.5 million of pay-as-you-go, about a $2 million MAWS contribution. If you recall, the council passed that MAWS agreement about 2 weeks ago for that
Okay.
participation.
And the rest is from the district,
The district CIP, that's correct.
okay, from the PAYGO program. Thank you, appreciate that.
21675, authorized contract with McCrory and Williams for 2019 drainage, Group E, Part B, $167,000.
Okay, Ricky, what about that one? Okay, thank you.
31676, authorized grant application to the fiscal year 2022 Transportation Alternatives Program to contribute to construction of a pedestrian biking path along the 3 Mile Creek Greenway from Japanese Gardens to south of Stevens Lane, $400,000. The city's portion is $80,000. 60679, request mayor to officially deem employees of the Mobile Public Library as eligible workers to receive premium pay for the ARP funds. Call for public hearings, 41677, call for public hearing to rezone property located at 2820 Spring Hill Avenue, north side of Spring Hill Avenue, extending from Burton Avenue to Hosfeld Lane, from B2 and B3 to B3, scheduled September 14th. Announcements.
Okay. Anything from the council?
Yes.
Mr. Richardson?
I would just like to ask of the council support for 60679, the request of the mayor to officially deem employees of the Mobile Public Library as eligible workers to receive.
Mr. Richardson, we can't
We
hardly
can't understand.
what you're saying.
I'd like to ask of the council I'm requesting support from the council to request of the mayor officially deem employees of the Mobile Public Library as eligible workers to receive premium pay from ARP funds. This is not going to be taken up today. It's going to be laid over until next week. So we got a whole week on this one, but I'm asking now for the council to support this resolution. And I want to ask our traffic engineer, Ms. Jennifer White, whether or not you have the signage made for Best Rich Way.
We have not made it yet.
Okay.
Rich asked us to wait until close to
Okay, I'm on her side. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on my way, you see.
Okay. I'll be.
I don't know about that. If the splash pad's working.
Anything else from the council?
Mr. Vice President,
Yes,
just want to
ma'am.
remind everyone that the council meeting next Tuesday is rescheduled to Wednesday, August the 25th.
Okay. Mr. Mayor? Yeah, all hearts, minds clear? We'll see each other at 10:30.